This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Friday, the real Friday, October 7th, and today's pod is the best one yet.
It's the best one yet.
It's a T-Boy. Jack, what's our first story today?
2 out of 3 fast food meals are now ordered via drive-thru.
We just got the 22nd annual Drive-Thru Awards, and the winner for slowest drive-thru in America goes to...
For our second story, we just saw a change in the housing market that we've never seen before.
It's no longer a seller's market, but it's not really a buyer's market. It's a no man's land.
And our third and final story, Peloton CEO just said something you don't say as the CEO.
He just said, Peloton, we got 6 months to live.
He just said, Peloton, 6 months or you're all done for.
Yeah, 6-month deadline, 6-month ultimatum, 6-month expiration date.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
I mean, how do you go into a weekend with a better mix? I just love this mix, man.
The double rainbow, Charlie bit me, and a cute cat.
Bama Rush, Pizza Rat, and another cute cat.
Pink sauce, Trader Joe's sunscreen, and another cute cat.
Jack, what do all of those things have in common, not including the cat?
They've all gone viral.
Yes, but Jack, why have they all gone viral?
That's the question that fascinates us, the why.
And honestly, it's one of the reasons we are interviewing who we are interviewing tomorrow morning.
Yetis, our first T-Boy interview is with Jonah Peretti, founder and CEO of BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed, the media icon you grew up clicking.
BuzzFeed, the creator of the top 10 list for which Harry Potter house you're in.
13 signs you are absolutely, definitely, 100% a Hufflepuff.
But behind BuzzFeed and those listicles is Jonah, the guy who invented virality.
The Baron of Buzz who started BuzzFeed.
That soundbite we played yesterday in the show?
I remember well. Great soundbite, Jack.
That was Jonah from our interview.
That was Jonah.
So tomorrow morning, while you're on your way to that pumpkin festival with your new significant other in that flannel,
While you're mowing the lawn, hopefully for the last time this year,
check out our debut T-Boy interview episode.
it's with Jonah Peretti, creator of BuzzFeed. We got him on the pod.
But before you do,
Yeah.
let's hit our 3 stories.
Let's hit him, Jack.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, we just got the annual awards for the nation's best drive-thrus.
It turns out Happy Meals taste better when the staff is happy too.
The drive-thru, the classic drive-thru. It's not just a feature. It's not just a product. This is a fundamental food phenomenon.
Get this, 2 out of every 3 fast food orders are drive-thru orders. 2 of every 3.
Jack, 2 out of 3 McWhoppers are ordered through a loudspeaker handed to you in the window of your Chevy.
Liter of cola?
Liter of cola?
Just get a large farva. That's why we're all paying attention to In Touch Insight's 22nd annual drive-thru study.
This research company had its staffers order drive-thru 1,537 times across 10 different fast food chains.
These staffers also gained 1,537 pounds, we're pretty sure.
Great health benefits, fantastic dental, we should point that out.
But it was all for the data.
Because Yetis, here's what Jack and I find so fascinating. That study is so expansive, it actually moves fast food stocks.
Because the study reads to us more like an awards show.
Step on down. Who's on the red carpet, Jack? For the 3rd year in a row, who was the #1 fast food company when it came to the drive-thru?
It was Chick-fil-A for a 3rd year in a row.
All right, who we got number 2? Who's a runner-up?
McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's. There we go. Chick-fil-A. Now, here's the interesting thing, Yetis. Chick-fil-A's drive-thru actually took the longest amount of time.
It took customers on average 8 minutes and 50 seconds from arriving to getting their food.
All right, that sounds bad, but here's the key. Chick-fil-A's drive-thru also has the most cars lined up.
So it takes longer because it's so dang popular. There's just a long line of cars you have to wait.
But when you divide the time by the number of cars, you get an extremely efficient drive-thru.
On average, Chick-fil-A dishes out orders every minute and 57 seconds, and that's the best in the biz.
This is like the 40-yard dash for the fast food industry.
And Chick-fil-A is Deion Sanders.
Now, Jack and I were curious, so we jumped in further T-Boy style. Jack, which fast food chain had the best upsell?
Carl's Jr., I guess they're trained to say, would you like fries with that?
Jack, what do I got to do to get you into these mozzarella sticks?
Now, Nick, who got slowest drive-thru?
For another $2.99, Jack, I can get you into the combo meal.
You're quite a salesman. The slowest drive-thru Yetis was Dunkin' Donuts.
Apparently, Darlene took 19 extra seconds to get you 2 extra pumps of hazelnut.
But Nick, who came in consistently worst in this survey, like from year to year?
Jack, it looks like Wendy's was consistently the worst in this survey.
Rectangular burgers are grinding up the drive-thru gears.
When it came to drive-thru, Wendy's had the lowest customer satisfaction rating, the slowest pacing, and the lowest friendliness score.
But the most damning statistic for Wendy's was their inaccuracy.
Because there is nothing worse than getting home, opening up that paper box, and then being like, oh my God.
Dad, where's my McChicken Deluxe?
I said onions on the side.
Dad, I'm taking your McChicken.
Where are my dragon eggs McMuffins?
Yetis, Wendy's got 21% of orders wrong in these 1,530-second test orders that these researchers did.
I said sriracha mayo, not chipotle mayo.
Besties, that's 1 out of every 5 Wendy's order. It was missing a Frosty.
And that's not just bad for PR. That bad drive-thru info is bad for the bottom line.
Because inaccurate orders, those have to get fixed.
Yeah.
And when they get fixed, that's lost time and lost money.
In fact, those restaurants lose $50,000 per store per year on those bad drive-thrus. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies in the drive-thru industry?
The drive-thru reveals what happens when you invest in your employees.
Yetis, the first thing Jack and I did after reading this report, we researched the wage data.
We read another report. And it turns out Chick-fil-A, it's not just number 1 in drive-thru, it's also number 1 in taking care of their employees.
Turns out Chick-fil-A has among the highest percentage of workers in the industry making over $15 an hour.
And those Chick-fil-A chicken fryers, they don't work Sundays, ever.
On the other hand, Wendy's has among the lowest percentage of workers making over $15 an hour.
We're no statisticians,
No.
but it appears we have some correlation between worker pay and drive-thru performance.
The null is void. A lot of factors go into company performance, besties, but in fast food, pay may be number 1.
Because Happy Meals just taste better when the staff's happy too.
For our second story, the housing market has become a brand new thing. It's become a no man's land.
Prices aren't going up anymore.
No, they're not.
But they're not going down either.
No, they're not.
They're simply not being sold.
All right, Jack, the biggest checks in our economy. The biggest checks in our economy, where do those checks get cashed?
PGA Tour.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those are
Those
physically big
huge
checks.
No, it's the real estate markets, Yetis.
Yeah, the real estate market. And no market has seesawed more in the last year than like the entire housing market.
For the first 2 years of the pandemic, it was a seller's market,
Yeah,
baby.
5-bed, 4-bath, live-in closet with a price tag if you can't afford it.
Work from home, it changed everything. And people were scrambling to stick their family flag onto a plot of land somewhere.
And then even in New York City, real estate had a record year of record prices. Condos were priced like kingdoms.
But then, for a brief moment, earlier this year, it became a buyer's market.
Yeah, there were recession worries. People were scared, so they weren't splurging on that condo.
Home prices dipped.
Actually, they did.
Sellers were selling seaside suites for less than they wanted to.
But then all of that changed just this week.
Spiking interest rates have dramatically changed the real estate market.
Yeah, so it's not a seller's market right now, but it's not a buyer's market right now.
We're looking at a no man's land.
Get this, Yetis. The 30-year standard mortgage rate just hit 6.75%.
That is more than double where it was 1 year ago.
So to borrow money from a bank to buy that modern farmhouse, it's the most expensive it's been to do that in decades.
Because of the spiking interest rates, the average home payment in America costs $900 more this year than last year.
So we've got this funny situation. On the one hand, the buyers won't buy.
Because it's too expensive to borrow at such high interest rates.
But then on the other hand, the sellers won't sell.
Because they'd have to replace the low interest mortgage they have today with a brand new high interest mortgage.
So Jack and I are looking at this situation today and we're like, wait a second, it's not a seller's market, but it's not a buyer's market, man. What is it? What is this? Something in between.
It's becoming a no man's land.
No one's there. No one's buying, no one's selling.
There's no buying, there's no selling. It's a no man's land real estate market.
Nothing in the middle. So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies who may be buying a house?
Your parents will say they saw the same housing market in the 80s, but that's wrong.
Yetis, we've had higher interest rates before. That's true. And we had them 40 years ago in the 80s when boomers were like in their 30s.
1982. The typical mortgage rate that year was an insane 16%, which is more than double today's mortgage rate.
Okay, but here is the key difference between today's housing market and the 1980s housing market.
Homes back then in the 80s were way more affordable than they are today.
For example, back in 1982, the average home price was only $66,000. Jack, what does that translate to today?
In today's dollars, that's $207,000. That was the price of the average home in 1982.
But today, the average home price is $440,000 in today's dollars.
So a home today is twice as expensive as it was in 1982.
So it's the combo of high interest rates and higher house prices that make today's market unique.
That's why our housing market today isn't the same as it was in the 80s.
Our housing market is becoming a no man's land.
Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
You know, honestly, your salad, it says so much about you.
Nick, you like to blaze your own trail at the salad bar.
Yeah, I'm ordering a salad. I go off menu, man. Like a combo of kale and croutons that has never been made before.
Me? I'm not reinventing the wheel. I like to go classic.
Like if Sweet Green thinks it's a good combo, Jack's not going to change that.
Kind of like investing strategies. Some want to build a custom portfolio of stocks, crypto, and options.
Others don't want to reinvent. Just give me the most standard ETF.
Whether you're tweaking your one-of-a-kind portfolio every day or prefer a more hands-off approach, Robinhood has the tools.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy to choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Stocks offered by Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto.
All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood.
For our third and final story before the weekend, we just saw the first ever life or death ultimatum from a CEO.
Deadlines work in a workplace, Nick, but Peloton just tried a death threat.
They did.
On itself.
Oh, yeah, these Pelotons rise and fall. Honestly, it's like the juiciest drama since WeWork or Theranos.
The stock was $162 a share 2 years ago.
Jack, where is it today?
It's $9.
Yeah, it hurts. They pulled a hammy. Are we going to get a Netflix movie out of this, though? It feels kind of juicy.
We're not going to get a documentary.
We're not getting a Hulu documentary.
Because there's no crime. There's no, affair. There's no cult of personality involved in this story.
Honestly, Eddie, when it comes to Peloton's downfall, pretty straightforward. Nothing illegal happened.
It was just boring old corporate mismanagement.
Revenues rose during the pandemic. Costs happened to rise a whole lot faster.
And that's why today, Peloton has never been more unprofitable, despite the incredible blessing to its business that was the pandemic.
And that's why the CEO of Peloton, the new CEO, has announced a shocking 4,600 layoffs. That is more than half the company let go.
And then yesterday, the new CEO did something we've never seen a CEO do before.
We have literally never seen a CEO say this, do this publicly, even mouth out the words.
He gave the entire company an ultimatum.
Barry McCarthy, the new CEO of Peloton, told the Wall Street Journal 6 months.
He said, if we haven't turned around this company in 6 months, I'm going to do something really bad.
He didn't finish the sentence, but
No.
He's implying, he's going to put the company up for sale.
He implied in 6 months, we'll sell the company if we're not looking
It's
good.
like the kind of thing that's said behind closed doors in a hushed voice. We're going to do 6 months, 6 months.
I can't wait for Cody Rigsby to make this a themed workout.
6 month power hour. We got 6 months to lose 1,000 calories.
Running up that hill for 6 months. This isn't the kind of thing you publicly say to the whole world.
Now, this aggressive comment does explain one thing, doesn't it, Jack?
It explains why Peloton's been doing so much the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, because just in the last couple of weeks, they finally launched their Peloton rowing machine.
And then they started selling their fancy Peloton bikes at Dick's Sporting Goods for the first time and on Amazon for the first time.
And then they partnered with Hilton to stick Peloton bikes in 5,000 different hotel gyms.
So we noticed a lot of urgency from Peloton lately.
And it's because the CEO just gave it 6 months to fix things or else. So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Peloton?
Deadlines work. Do death threats?
Besties, managers love picking artificial deadlines for artificial goals.
We have to double revenues growth rate by the end of Q4 by EOD Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, where did you get those numbers? Why the end of Q4? Why Eastern Standard? They're arbitrary, but those are clear deadlines.
Nick and I have seen it before. Managers set ambitious goals because it keeps the workers from getting too comfortable.
Honestly, Elon does this all the time. And even though Tesla misses those deadlines, they still get results because they set the deadline.
But Peloton CEO, he didn't set a deadline.
No, he didn't.
He basically issued a death threat.
Workers have until April 6th. Calendars are literally marked.
April 6th, that is the day, which is the last chance for Peloton to survive as an independent company.
Deadlines, they've proven to work. We're curious how the old death threat works too. Jack, can you whip up the takeaways for us for the new Friday?
Private chicken chain Chick-fil-A won the award for best drive-thru.
The Happy Meals taste better when the staff's happy too.
For our second story, it's not a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's no man's land.
Your parents are going to say they've seen this before. They have not seen this before.
For our third and final story, Peloton CEO says the company has 6 months. 6 months.
Deadlines work. I haven't seen how death threats do. Very curious about this one.
But Yetis, breaking news during the recording we wanted to update you on.
Breaking news. Twitter and Elon are still going to go to court.
Now, Elon did offer this week to buy Twitter for the original price. We covered it on this pod.
We did a story on it.
But Twitter doesn't trust that Elon will actually do it.
So Twitter is asking the court to force Elon to buy Twitter.
The Elon show is getting another season.
Not even Twitter wants Twitter. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Khaled Akleb from Kuwait City, Kuwait.
Push and play.
Push and play.
With estimates ranging up to $220 billion in infrastructure investments, Qatar is the costliest World Cup to date. That's nearly 10 times more than the next most expensive World Cups. The one in Brazil was $13 billion, and Russia was $16 billion. Moreover, it's the first World Cup in the Middle East. It's the smallest host country, and it has the fewest stadiums in World Cup history.
Are they kicking golden soccer balls over there?
$220 billion. That's infinity lifts. It's infinity lifts went into this World
I think
Cup.
they're installing lazy boy recliners in each stadium.
The ball kicks itself. It's a self-driving World Cup, Jack. Yetis, you looked fantastic the entire week. And remember, tomorrow morning, when you're sipping that double-digit latte in bed on your mattress, we've got something for you.
An interview pod with Jonah Peretti.
It's our best interview yet.
Nick and I, we'll see you tomorrow.
Monday. Oh, I guess we will see you tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. Can't wait. And before we go, congrats to Yeti's John Johannesson and Victoria Morrow getting married this weekend in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
And Nick, have you heard of a collab in Vero Beach, Florida?
Now I've heard of collab. Tell us more. What's going on?
It's a brand new co-working space that's getting opened up by Christina and Jordan Klinger. Congratulations.
A couple besties. And Mile Owens and his fiancée are getting married in Denver, North Carolina.
And happy birthday to Big Heart Brian Nillis over in Iowa City, Iowa.
And Rose Horowitz has a hibachi birthday party for her 9th birthday over in Maryland.
I'm excited for that onion volcano, I'll tell you.
That shrimp's going to hit me in the face.
And happy birthday to Zohed Muhammad in Chatsworth, California.
And Addison Hosea turning 5 in Litchfield Park, Arizona.
Have a fantastic day at school today.
And Katie Sands is turning 29 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And happy birthday to John Pop on Bainbridge Island, Washington.
And Sahil Yadav is eating breakfast right now, celebrating a birthday and a new dream job in consulting in Miami.
And happy birthday to Neil Shankar in Berkeley, California. And Nick, I got one more best fact yet for you.
Jack, what do you got?
Guess who has the most best fact yets on this pod ever?
Savannah Westwood?
Happy half birthday to Savannah Westwood of legendary Orlando, Florida. This is Jack. I own stock of Amazon, and Nick and I both own stock of Robinhood, and unfortunately Peloton. Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
You can do just about anything from your phone, but some industries, they've just been slow to move.
The finance industry was slow to move from phone to computer, and then from computer to app.
Robinhood wasn't. It's the Silicon Valley-based brokerage that's been updating apps since it was born in 2015.
Using the Robinhood app for your stocks and crypto is almost as easy as downloading it.
So you can invest at your pace on your terms by downloading the Robinhood app.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Stocks are offered by Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto.
All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood.